guys, it is time for the final modcast. I'll also turn on Medjashare.
Seems impossible for such beloved character.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Alright, let's
Skip this one. Yeah, Travis doesn't like it.
In 2020, I made something you didn't like. So in 2021, I used it to kill Ludwig's stream. The story of how I pulled off this incredible feat is a thrilling tale, one of heroism, sacrifice, betrayal, and most importantly, clout chasing.
All that for a drop of
Clout.
But in order to discover how I killed the stream, we must first rewind, back to where it all started, back to when I posted my previous video, back to the year 2020.
Yeah, rewind time.
The date is August 31st, 2020. The virus is on a temporary decline. Among Us has yet to permanently enter the public consciousness, and I had just released my magnum opus, Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home. This critically acclaimed masterpiece took me months of hard work to complete, with hours spent researching, scripting, and editing the video inside of DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci?
And yet, something strange happened.
Doctor Strange.
Despite the metric tons of sweat, tears, and manual labor that I poured into the video, it attained only 89 views an entire week after its release, and wouldn't even hit 100 until 2 more weeks after that. This was a tragedy. If such an impeccably crafted video couldn't skyrocket me to fame and fortune, then surely nothing could. So, as the sun set on that cool summer evening, my dreams crushed, my hopes of virality ruined. I was left alone in the darkness and despair that was my lack of internet points, wondering if I would ever get the clout that I so desperately deserved. At long last, hope. It is April 6th, 2021, 7 months and 6 days after Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home was posted. With the help of a few previous publicity stunts,
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
the video had managed to reach around 190 views, though certainly not nearly as many as it deserved. However, through a process that Dr. Bones initiated with his message, this was all about to change, thanks to one man, Ludwig Agren. Ludwig is an American Twitch streamer, esports commentator, musical artist, chess grandmaster, philanthropist, and ex-Smash player. Though he is probably best known for his month-long subathon. In case you've been living under a rock,
My name is Deez. Deez what, sir?
and are unfamiliar with his subathon, here's a quick lore update. A subathon is a Twitch event in which a stream will continue for as long as people continue to give subscribers, paid monthly subscriptions which cost a minimum of $5. Ludwig ran his own subathon starting on March 14th, 2021, and due to unprecedented support from his community, it lasted an entire month before Ludwig himself chose to end the event. Now, with an entire month's worth of uninterrupted streaming thrust upon him, Ludwig had to figure out a way to catch some Z's without ending the stream, or worse, losing viewers. The solution? Modcasts. These overnight sessions of the stream allowed Ludwig's stream moderators to take charge and react to videos played by the chat, while a live feed of Ludwig sleeping played in the background. These chat-selected videos were, of course, always entertaining.
Stop posting about Among Us!
And if they were boring or, God forbid, cringe,
I'm not seeing enough movement!
the chat could simply pester the mods to skip it. Needless to say, this was a flawless system, and resulted in perfect harmony between the chat and the— Wait! Hold up, roll back the script a bit. Did that say videos played by the chat? Is that a thing? Dr. Bones was right. With the help of Ludwig's stream, I could force 50,000 people to watch Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home, whether they wanted to or not. This would surely send the video's popularity through the roof, though it would extract a
Heavy toll.
Early totals of the cost of this little venture ranged anywhere from $32.32 all the way up to $32.36.
We're doing the math now.
After seeing these obscene calculations, I was in shock. Who knew the cost of clout could be so high? But as a great man once said,
The hardest choices require the strongest will.
so after great deliberation, I grabbed my $100 Visa gift card and headed to my computer. After all, $32 would be a
Small price to pay for salvation.
I pulled up Ludwig's donation page and, shaking with desperation, typed in my name, a tip message, and the video I wanted to be played. Then to seal the deal, I entered my Visa gift card information, and voila! The Visa gift card, my sole source of funds, didn't work. I choked back my tears as I realized that my hopes of media sharing the video might be over before they even started. Looking back over the forum, I had one last idea, one final attempt to get the request to go through. If Ludwig wouldn't take my gift card, no! I would have to make sure he had no idea what he was accepting, with PayPal.
Let's go!
See, Stream Elements developers spent about the same time on their credit card system as Apple has on iTunes for Windows.
The best Windows app ever written.
So it doesn't work with fancy payment methods such as Visa gift cards. But PayPal's Biggie Chungus infrastructure, having been around since before the average Ninja viewer was born, is more than equipped to handle such transactions. So I created a PayPal account, entered my card information there, and at 8:48 a.m. tried once again to request my video. To my astonishment, it worked. Upon checking my PayPal activity for verification, I knew that the deed had been done. In my pursuit of fame and glory, I had done what had previously been reserved only for the rich and the generous, the desperate and the simps.
Say my name.
I had done the unthinkable. I had donated to a Twitch streamer. 2 minutes later, the donation showed up on stream, further verifying that it went through. Now all that was left was to wait for the video to finally be played. So we waited, and waited, and waited some more. Seconds passed, then minutes. By this point, it was clear something was wrong. There was no sign of the Far From Home video, and the supply of various anime openings and outdated videos from the early 20th century didn't seem to be letting up. Then at 9 a.m., 10 minutes after the donation went through, ABP Sammy suggested that there might be a queue that we could use to check when the video was going to play. Inspired by this idea, I immediately got on the watch, checking all the possible links on Ludwig's stream page in search of a media share queue. This thorough investigation, however, yielded no results, and in the meantime, even more cringe videos continued to play, leaving me dumbfounded as to where the Far From Home video had gone. Nearly out of hope for any confirmation that the video was going to play, I stared aimlessly at the chat, watching it scroll by in despair. Suddenly, I noticed a message in chat from the Stream Elements bot. The link to the media request queue was right before my eyes. After 12 minutes of tireless searching, I had finally found a way to confirm that the Far From Home video was going to be played. Ecstatic, I clicked the link and the video was nowhere to be found. We'd come so far, overcome so many obstacles, gone to such great lengths just to have a chance at playing the video on stream. But it appeared that I had reached the end of the road. Without any sign of Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home in the queue, it seemed like there was no hope to get my video to play on stream. And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. Right after discovering the queue, I received an ominous message from COVID-19. My heart stopped. When I had initially published the Far From Home video, I'd received not one, but 2 copyright claims from Mikey G himself. At the time, I hadn't thought much of it. After all, it just prevented me from putting ads on the video, something which I couldn't really do anyway. But now, these copyright claims would come back to haunt me. Making matters worse, Jacovid soon clarified that this anti-copyright directive was directly from the Stream Elements bot. This was the final nail in the coffin for the Far From Home video. Not only was it not appearing in the queue, but it also explicitly violated the requirements for a video to be played. However, there was still a glimmer of hope, a light at the end of the tunnel. The queue was surprisingly small, only showing about 3 videos at a time. Maybe just maybe, the queue wasn't telling the whole story. Even more suspicious was the obscene amount of anime openings that continually got played, which of course were definitely copyrighted.
You in black.
These inconsistencies prompted even more speculation. But despite these interesting hypotheses,
What an interesting hypothesis.
it was becoming increasingly clear that we needed one thing: answers. And to get answers, we would need to talk to someone who had direct involvement in the stream. Someone who, in addition to being incredibly overpaid, was also responsible for the media share content. We would have to go to the top of the chain of command. The Twitch mods. Getting the attention of the Reddit moderators would surely be no easy task. The mods are an elite group of individuals selected directly by Ludwig himself, and there seemed to be little chance they would want to talk to us. Still feeling exhausted and stressed from these recent revelations, I knew this would be too monumental a task to take on alone. So simply because I didn't want to, I asked DR Bones to contact a Reddit moderator for me.
I'll do it myself.
And do it he did. Within seconds, Ari had replied, asking for some information and saying they check on the video's status. DR Bones gave them my name and the video's title, only to receive radio silence in response. Not wanting to pester the mods and get blocked,
Don't get blocked.
we respectfully waited a full 14 minutes before asking Ari for updates. Clearly, they had forgotten about this important task because they replied nearly instantly, finally spilling the tea about what had happened to the Far From Home video. It was in the queue, but not the media share queue. As Ari revealed, there was a secret queue, one hidden from the public eye, the approval queue. To prevent undesirable videos from ever seeing the light of day, videos would first enter an approval queue, where the stream mods would screen each video before it entered the media share queue, something which I'm sure had no negative effects on their mental well-being. And simply due to the popularity of Ludwig's stream, the Far From Home video hadn't even made it to approval yet. Despite the lack of progress so far, we now knew that there was some hope of the video getting played, as long as it wasn't shut down by the mods.
No.
So, in the style of Minecraft 1.8, I turned on my auto clicker and saw my mouse pointer on the refresh button. At 9:43 AM, my spam refreshing the page paid off. Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home had finally entered the media share queue. With this revelation, mass hysteria quickly erupted among fans of the video.
Let's go.
At last, it was only a matter of time before Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home was played. I glued my eyes to the stream, watching each time the video moved up in the queue. And only 4 minutes later, it was at the top. I let out a sigh of relief as the previous video came to a close. The time had come. $32.36, and 7 months later, it was finally time for Why I Hate Spider-Man Far From Home to get the recognition it deserved. After this, nothing would be the same. I would get millions of subscribers, no doubt becoming the next T-Series. My ad revenue would go through the roof, making me even more money than 2010 Bitcoin investors. And most importantly, I would gain unholy levels of clout. Barely able to contain my excitement, I turned down racism, turned up my volume, and held in my breath as the video began to play. Things started off well enough. As the first few minutes of the video passed, there were even a few encouraging messages in the chat. Needless to say, these comments were incredibly gratifying. It seemed that the stream was actually enjoying the video. This continued for another minute or so, with members of the chat even joining in to help make fun of British people.
Roy Browns. I'm British.
But it was all too good to be true. Immediately after the funny British joke, this individual had the audacity to say terrible video, in all caps, no less. This was soon followed by an actually unfunny. And the civil unrest only grew from here. Someone compared my video to those of popular YouTube channel CinemaSins, just for someone else to do the same thing seconds later, only more British.
British?
But the worst was still yet to come. During the admittedly pretty sleeper acting critique section of the video, Twitch user Jofsar initiated the apocalypse, saying, "Can we skip this, mods?" Rather like the fragrance from the Dr. Nefario fart gun gif, this spread like wildfire. This message was ground zero for an explosion of hate speech against why I hate Spider-Man Far From Home. As soon as Jofzar asked to skip, chaos increased exponentially within the Twitch chat. By this time, the view count had begun to drop significantly. When the video had started, the stream was at around 56,500 viewers, but by the time of the funny Fortnite reference, only around 54,200 remained. Luckily, it seemed like the mods were ignoring the chat's demands, instead being captivated by playing the popular board game Codenames.
Hey, so we playing Codenames?
But the final straw was about to be pulled. Just as Tom Holland, Stan, Irritanium expressed their opinion upon the Cell division of the video, Ragnarok began. The bass-boosted Nokia ringtone was just too much for the stream to handle. Despite the video being played at negative 1,000 decibels gain, neither the mods nor the chat could take this assault to their ears. Shortly after this occurred, there was an influx of way too danks in the chat, no doubt an emotional reaction to the ear rape. Clearly, this attention-grabbing sound effect was too powerful for the stream. Even more people were now asking to skip the video. And as more people were drawn to the video, even more ill-founded criticism entered the chat. Although there were, of course, a few based messages being sent as well. Yes, I did. But these chat messages were mere crewmates compared to the imposters that were the Reddit moderators. Shortly after the Nokia sound played, Reddit mod Jeff claimed,
"Seems impossible for such a beloved character to..."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, with even the Reddit moderators now disliking the video, there was no hope of it playing any longer. After the mods proclaimed their woes, Ari, the very Reddit moderator who had helped us earlier, proclaimed that they would be the one to skip the video.
I think I'm gonna skip it.
And so they did. At 9:52 a.m., approximately 5 minutes and 10 seconds into the video, it was skipped.
Alright, skipping.
Skip this one? Yeah, chat does not like it.
I was devastated. I had come so far, worked so hard, only to be cut off halfway through. And making things worse, the chat was determined to rub it in. For minutes after the video got skipped, the cringelers in chat commended the Reddit moderators on their decision to skip the video and replace it with a cringe CSGO one instead. But if the video wasn't to play in its entirety, I hope that the 5 minutes that did play would be enough to get people to share. So I pulled up my YouTube analytics page and the view count had barely increased. But that didn't tell the whole story. At 9:53 a.m., just 1 minute after the video was cut off, I received an email telling me I had gained an additional subscriber. And a few hours later, I got another one telling me that Kendrick Lamau himself had commented on the video. This new traffic snowballed, and when I checked my YouTube analytics the following day, I had gotten another subscriber, 3 likes, 1 dislike, and the view count had gone up by 72. But these subscribers, the views, the likes, the dislikes, these were not the most important things I gained from this social experiment. See, as the Far From Home video began to brew drama on the stream, I was struck by inspiration. After all the valuable insight, emotion, and financial difficulties, I realized that this roller coaster of a journey would be the perfect topic for a new video. With this new idea, I began collecting every slice of evidence I could. Discord messages, Twitch VODs, archival recordings, and worked to piece together the lore of exactly what happened on that fateful day, to construct the very video you see before you. Although I didn't become famous, I didn't get thousands of views, I didn't get millions in ad revenue, this fresh inspiration made me realize that the true biggie clout was the friends and experiences we made along the way. And so that's the story of how I got 2,000 viewers to leave Ludwig's stream.